The Hill is reporting that Republicans in Congress repealed Obamacare. Now, needless to say, they've been trying to do this from the second it was passed, but back when it was originally passed, you had a majority of Democrats in the Senate, and it would never get through the Senate. Now, since the Republicans have actually taken control of the Senate, they've passed it. I believe this is the second time they've passed it through the Senate, a repeal of Obamacare. Obviously, it's not going anywhere, but nonetheless, they did it. I mean, the president has this thing called veto power. Maybe Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, might want to check that and see exactly what's going to happen in the end here. But let me give you the details, and then I'll explain why, in a counterintuitive way, this is actually a good political move on the part of the Republicans. Policy-wise, of course not. They've never been good on policy. They're Republicans. But in terms of strategy, it's actually a very intelligent plan, dare I say. So the Hill reports, quote, the legislation would also defund Planned Parenthood for a year. Just anything that helps people, anything that's good for the American people, they're like, yeah, let's just axe that. It passed by a vote of 240 to 181. Just 2 Republicans voted against it, and of course they were in swing districts. I believe they're from New York. So it was kind of a, hey, I'm going to save my own ass vote. Now, Obama, like I said, is 100% going to veto it, but they passed it anyway. Speaker Ryan said this, quote, we are confronting the president with the hard, honest truth. Obamacare doesn't work. We've been at this, for 5 years now? We finally found what I think is the smart strategy to be able to get a bill on Obama's desk. Yeah, on his desk. But then you know where it's going to end? On his desk. This idea that it would ever go further than that, that's just nonsense. So if they were to get their way, which they won't, 22 million people would lose their health insurance. And this is repeal attempt number, we seriously lost count at this point. I'm not kidding. It's been like that for the past 5 or 6 repeal attempts where different media outlets have different numbers for how many times they've tried to repeal it, because it depends how you count it up. If you're talking about a full repeal, it's a certain number. If you're talking about just a defunding, that's another number. If you're talking about the symbolic attempts versus the actual attempts versus repealing certain provisions and leaving others in place, the numbers vary all over the place. But we're flirting with fucking 65 repeal attempts, 66 repeal attempts. So here's the counterintuitive takeaway from this story. Hey, Democrats, watch and learn. Now, again, this has 0% chance of succeeding. They're not actually going to get it through. President Obama's going to veto it, and then we're going to move along. But think about it, man. This is an issue where Republicans know they're going to lose. Or actually, I shouldn't even say that. Some of them are probably stupid, don't even know how the system works, and me vote against it. But some of them, like Speaker Ryan, he knows how the system works enough to know that this isn't going to work. But they do it anyway. So what's the purpose in doing it? Well, number one, you're shoring up your base to be more on your side. So that's good because it makes them excited to vote for you because you're actually doing stuff that they say they like. But then number 2 is sheer aggression works in the long run. Why? Because if you're uncompromising in the pursuit of what your policy goals are, then you're going to move the spectrum in your direction. So the compromise position becomes what used to be a pipe dream that your side wanted. And the Democrats do the polar opposite of this. So the go-to example on this one is gun reform. Now, after Sandy Hook, when children were slaughtered, they were massacred, they were gunned down while at school, what happened afterwards? The Democrats first, they were like, yeah, we're going to do ban some assault weapons, but maybe not, but maybe a little bit. We don't know. We're just throwing it out there. We're just flirting with the idea here. Fucking say it. Just come out and say it, but they don't say it. The actual proposed bill at first was a universal background check bill that crumbled. Then they caved to watered down background check bill. What happened? They proposed that. They lost with, I think it was 56 votes in the Senate. You're thinking, Kyle, that doesn't make sense. 56 wins, right? Wrong. You need a supermajority. Why? Because they filibuster everything. The Republicans were filibustering everything. So they slapped it down, And then you had Republican politicians bragging on Twitter and on social media that they slapped it down. Mind you, the American people, a poll had just come out at the time. 90% of the American people said, let's do a universal background check. Republicans said no to that, and then no to the watered-down background check bill, the Manchin-Toomey bill, and then they bragged about it. Now, that was one attempt that the Democrats did at trying to do gun reform. One attempt. And did they bring it up again? Nope. They get slapped down there. You hurt my feelings. I think you bruised my ego. I'm going to go home and sit down and cry in the fetal position, and then I'll never try again to ever get my policy passed. That's my Harry Reid impression. This is how they think. This is what they do. Now, again, let's turn back to the Republicans here for a second. Look at what they do. Yeah, I know we're not going to pass it, but I'm going to... we're not going to get it into law, but I'm going to go ahead and vote on a repeal of Obamacare anyway. Why? I want to. I like that policy, so I'm going to go for that policy, and then President Obama's going to veto it, and then I'm going to pass it again, and then he's going to veto it again. I'm going to make him veto it 897 times. Why? Because that's what I'm in favor of. I like that policy, so I'm going to push for that. What? You got a problem with it? Now, again, there's a 0% chance of passing. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to do it because in my view, it's the right thing to do, so I'm going to do it. The Democrats, we have people getting slaughtered left and right with guns in the U.S., 32,000 gun deaths a year, one attempt at a watered-down background check bill. One attempt. So this is why, one of the reasons why the spectrum in the U.S. has been pulled to the right. Because the nature of the Republicans and the Democrats is just different. The Democrats are conciliatory and compromising and weak, and they change their minds so much. There was a great tweet I saw last night. It said, a liberal is somebody who's so open-minded that he doesn't want to take his own side in a fight. Kinda true. So what you need is, Democrats and liberals and progressives who take their policy positions, which, by the way, the American people support according to the polls, and then they're uncompromising. They say, oh, you want to play this game? Let's play this game. Oh, you slapped down my watered-down background check bill? Here's a universal background check bill. Every time you slap it down, I'm going to come back with an even tougher package. And if you vote it down, fine. Watch what I do. I'm going to go out in the public square. I'm going to go on TV all over the place. I'm going to make appearances nonstop. I'm going to campaign in your districts. And I will show the American people that you're a fucking fascist. I'll show them that you're a dictator. I'll show them that you don't care about what they want. I'll run ads exposing your exact corrupt ties to multinational corporations and billionaires. How you guys take money and you do their bidding. Wonderful. Watch me put it in an ad and then watch me crush you. Okay? This is how you play politics. This is how you win. But the Republicans, who are stupid on policy, wrong on almost every issue, they're the only ones with strength. They repeal Obamacare fucking damn near 70 times, and they act like, what do you mean? This is just a Tuesday. Yeah, I went after Planned Parenthood. And look, the arguments they used too made no sense, but it didn't matter because they're Republicans. So what do they say? Yeah, abortion! We're killing babies! Get rid of Planned Parenthood. It's like, well, wait. 97% of what Planned Parenthood does has nothing to do with abortion. And then the 3% that does, there's no tax dollars funding it. It's coming out of people's pockets. And there's no late-term abortions. So there's no pain. This is all happening before viability. Doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. Me, aggression. Me, angry. Repeal now. Fight. And the Democrats are in the corner, right on all the substance. Don't hit me. Okay, here, I'll do what you want.